Yo, what's up guys, it's Graphic Phoenix back with another video today, and today is the 11th day of May Madness. For those of you that don't know what May Madness is, I basically make a video every single day in May, so if you want more content for the whole rest of the month, definitely subscribe to my channel, you will not be disappointed. In today's video, we are showing you how to feed fruit flies to dart frogs, primarily is what I'm going to be feeding them to, but this also applies to anything like baby chameleons, baby day geckos, dwarf geckos, fish even. This will apply to feeding those as well. I have everything you're going to need laid out in front of you. Basically what we have is 3 different cultures of fruit flies. We have the Heidi on the far left, in the middle we have Turkish glider, and on the right we have melanogaster. If you guys want a video on how to culture flies, definitely let me know. I actually have my own mix that I use, so I can show you the recipe for that. Let me know in the comment section down below. Now we can move on to what the differences between the 3 types of flies are. Melanogasters are the smallest on the far right. They tend to be one of the quicker reproducing ones, and they're great for smaller frogs, thumbnails, baby dart frogs, or froglets, whatever you want to call them, as well as small geckos, that kind of thing. That's what all dart frogs start off on, is the melanogasters. From there we move on to the Turkish gliders. These are basically a slightly larger melanogaster. They also have longer wings. They can't necessarily fly, but they basically kind of hop and glide, which is why they call them the Turkish glider. These guys reproduce wicked fast. I think they even produce faster than the melanogasters. That's just from my observations. I haven't recorded anything or actually gotten any hard evidence for that, but they do reproduce very, very fast, and they have culture booms that are crazy. And last but not least, the Heidi are the slowest reproducing. It takes them about a month to start popping, like 18 to 20 days, so just shy of a month to start actually producing flies. Their boom is around 25 days or so. These will be great for all your larger dendrobates, philobates, any larger dart frog, basically the Aratus, the Tinctorius, and the Leucomelos. Those will all eat the Heidi. They reproduce the slowest, but are definitely crucial to nutrition for your frogs. Now, as you can see laid out here, I have 2 supplements that I use for these guys. I have the Dendrocare, which is kind of an all-around mineral and vitamin powder. It does have some vitamin A in there. In my experience, it's not quite enough to stimulate breeding and proper egg production. Maybe I'm dusting it wrong, but from my experience, that's true. I had that with a couple of my older dart frogs. So I started dosing once a week with the Repashy Vitamin A+. The Repashy I use once a week, and I feed every 2 days or so they get 3 feedings a week. Once on Tuesday, once on Thursday, and once on the weekend, whichever day I happen to feed. My dusting schedule is Tuesday I give the vitamin A, which is what day it is now, so I'll be using the vitamin A powder, and every other feeding I use the Dendrocare. There's one last thing that I strongly recommend, and that's having 2 shaker cups. As you can see, I'm using the Greek Gods yogurt container. It really doesn't matter. It's just a spare yogurt container that we had kicking around, and it works perfectly for my purpose. It's nice and short, and is perfect for shaking the fruit flies around. The cup next to it is just a clear plastic solo cup, basically, and that's my feeding cup. The yogurt container is actually my shaking cups. That's the list of items that you're going to need. Let's get into actually learning how to feed them. I'll mention before we get going, chances are there will be some fruit flies that actually escape while you're doing this, so if you really care about fruit flies getting out while you're shaking them into the container, I would strongly recommend doing it above a sink or some sort of container that the fruit flies can't crawl out of. That will be ideal. Me personally, I'm just doing it in my room because all my frogs are in here, so I don't really care. While tapping the fruit flies, they're all going to fall down towards the one side that you've angled downwards. So once that's accomplished, you'll see a big pile of fruit flies kind of huddled in one angle of the container. What you're going to do then is just crack open the lid and start tapping like mad. That will knock all the crickets off the lid and the sides of the container right into your shaker cup. Now once they're all in the shaker cup, you're just going to add a little bit of your whatever supplement that you happen to be using this day. For me, it's vitamin A, so I add a small dusting of that. Then I swish them in a circle, make sure they're all dusted, and move on to dumping them in the enclosure. I give enough fruit flies to last 2 days, so I probably give about 60 fruit flies per frog for my Aratus, and then for the smaller ones, they'll be getting about 30 or 40 melanogasters per frog. I'm not going to go in and count every single fruit fly. At this point, I've kind of established, oh, this is enough. You know, it's not me sitting there and meticulously counting every fly. It's basically a qualitative measurement, me just knowing how many to feed. Now, that's going to take some time to develop. However, it's not hard to do. If you feed one day and you have a ton of fruit flies left in the enclosure the next day, chances are next time you feed, you should reduce the feeding. But if you feed only a little bit and the next day there's nothing left in the enclosure, then, you know, for next time, you should probably increase it just a tiny bit. Alright, you guys, I know today was a little bit of a shorter video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something, and now you know how I feed my dart frogs. Obviously, you don't have to follow the same exact way I do it, but it's just my method of feeding them, and it seems to work quite well. I have nice, happy frogs that are doing well, they're breeding, they're showing activity and life. They got rich colors, as you can see, the Suffago pumilio on the branch there. I want to thank you guys very much for tuning into this episode. I hope you learned something. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If you liked the video, drop a like down below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section, and I try to reply to basically every comment. If you made it to the very end of the video, actually answer the question, what's your favorite species of dart frog? If you guys want more May Madness in the future, definitely click that subscribe button with the little bell next to it. That'll notify you every time I post a video. If you guys haven't been able to tell, I've been uploading at 10 a.m. my time every single day, so I hope to keep that up throughout the rest of May Madness. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, guys. Graphic Phoenix, out of here.